This is a nightly recording from a family from Mexico that also has to deal with some incredibly eerie activity that is taking place at night. Let's see what they have to tell us.
Cuarto. Mi esposo y mi niña están dormidos y vamos a ir a ver qué se escucha en el cuarto. No hay nadie, solamente estamos mi hermana, mi hija, mi esposo y yo. Aquí en este cuarto está solo porque en estos últimos días nadie ha podido dormir aquí. Como podrán ver, el cuarto está totalmente solo y pues nadie duerme aquí, solo estamos nosotros. Mi hermana dice que se escuchan cosas, pero ay, me asusté, pero no sé, pues no se oye nada, no sabe. ¡Ah! Amor, levántate, levántate porque ya le pegaron a la puerta, no sé qué pasó. Vinimos Sara y yo. Se escuchó la puerta, se escuchó la puerta. Mira, acabamos de venir y no estaba así. Todos los cajones están abiertos. Oh, Dios. La niña está dormida. Estamos solos. No sabemos qué fue lo que pudo haber pasado. Mi esposo anda viendo. ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué es, amor?
Se movió la puerta, no sé qué voy a traer aquí, nada.
No hay nada. No hay nada en el baño. Estamos otra vez aquí. Son las... no sé ni qué horas son, pero se están escuchando ruidos. Y estamos solas. Mi esposo no trabajando. Mis hermanas están dormidas. Sarai, despiértate. Acompáñame a ver allá adentro. Se están escuchando ruidos otra vez. Voy a despertarme. Ani, amor, levántate por favor para que me acompañen a ver allá adentro. Se están escuchando ruidos. Vamos, agarra por favor a la niña. Dios mío, estamos solas. No sé si alcancen a escuchar. Se escucha el perro. ¿Qué hora son, hija? Son las 3:33 de la mañana. Ay, Dios. Estamos solas, mi esposo le tocó trabajar hoy. Estamos nosotras solas. Tenemos mucho... No, abrázame. Tenemos mucho miedo. Hace como 15 días que se empezó. Que escucharon estos ruidos. No sé si es imposible. Ay. No sé si es imposible dormir. Cuando estamos solas. Ay, no, no puede ser. No puede ser, no puede ser. Cada vez se nos hace más difícil dormir. Ay, Dios. Ay, Dios. Ay, no. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, no sé si alcanzaron a ver, pero se movió la cortina. Acompáñenme por favor a ver si me salgo. Ay, no, que puede ser, no puede ser, no puede ser. hay alguien. Ay, señor, no quiero salir.
Unfortunately, the recording ends here, and we can only speculate what is causing all of the horror. This next clip was reportedly captured by 2 park rangers while out on duty. They had been following up on some unusual reports from local farmers, claims that shadowy figures had been seen walking along rural roads late at night. That alone was strange. No one should have been out there at those hours, especially in complete darkness. As the rangers made their way down one of these remote roads, they suddenly came face to face with something unexpected. What exactly they saw that night remains unclear, but judging by their reaction, it wasn't something they were prepared to deal with. The next videos were sent to me by Theresa M, and she tells me that she found them on the profile of user Sophie Clayton. The young woman states that she was babysitting one night at the family's home, and apparently they were collecting some really strange dolls. Which is nothing too crazy, right? After putting the young son to bed, she decided to check these dolls out a little bit further. And then, strangeness occurred.
I'm babysitting and I've just found the creepiest thing. Look at this. What is that? Oh my god. No, but what is it? It's so creepy. It's freaking me out. Is this real hair? Oh my god. And look. Ugh.
It is a pretty odd design choice, I give her that. Would it freak one out though?
Guys, I just came in to make dinner. And look what I found. Another one. Oh my gosh. It's a boy this time. Oh my god. Why would you look at that? Why would anyone have this in their house? Honestly, it's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, it has like a bell. Oh my god. Guys, guess who I am?
Is it actually a child that can be seen walking by in the background? Maybe the family's son? Or as some suspect, another doll perhaps? But after this, things just keep falling apart, it appears.
The TV just literally turned itself off by itself, and then the lights started going insane. Let me show you. Okay, wait for it, because it was literally just happening a second ago. Max? Better not be out of bed. Okay, I think I'm just gonna get him and go, because this is really freaking me out.
Whatever was going on that night didn't appear to be created by any natural causes. At least this is what Theresa tells me. Let's see how this case develops in the future. Really mysterious. This video is quite the mysterious one. The story goes that it was recorded by a man who was on a nightly work-related trip. He was traveling on a field road outside of town. and quite a few miles away from any other residential area for that matter. Based on his reports, he felt pretty weirded out after seeing something or somebody standing at the side of the road. But that wasn't everything. Moments after, something even stranger happened. Is that a person? Somebody with their back turned towards the dash cam? But now look into the night sky. The driver of the truck was baffled, and of course, in his mind, he became witness of an UFO encounter that night. Could this be so? Did maybe an unidentified life form linger around at the side of the road? That's a scary thought. And how lucky of the man to capture this event on his dashcam that night. I mean, what else could this thing be? Most certainly related to that UFO. The next case was reported by user Marlene Anna White. She states that her apartment seems to be a place of lots of mysterious activity. In her mind, there's no doubt that this place is extremely haunted. Apparently, she's seeing and hearing things in there that make her and her child really uneasy. It all started with inexplicable shadow sightings that were seen at night, but they mostly were seen just for a few seconds before disappearing again. One day though, while using the bathroom, she was seeing something quite terrifying unfolding right in front of her in the shower, a sighting that made many believe that her apartment might be haunted by a ghost child. After sharing this incident, people asked if she herself might have lost a child, and this was her reply.
Yes. Back in 2013 I was 25 weeks pregnant. He was a stillborn.
So, could it be that the spirit of her lost son was visiting her and the family? This is the recording that shook her to the core.
I only have one baby at my house today. The rest of them are with grandma. You can clearly hear my baby in the living room crying. I was on the toilet when I felt like something was watching me. I've been on edge ever since I took a picture and my dad was behind me by the door. So I decided to turn the camera on and record. This is not my dad. I don't know what it is.
Is this a ghost child? It certainly has the height of a child.
Who are you?
To show her skeptics that it was not one of her own children, her son steps into the shower to showcase that his silhouette looks completely different.
Stand in the shower real quick so I can show people something, please.
So, if it's not him, who else was it in your opinion? What a spooky recording. This next clip was part of a live broadcast, showing an ongoing operation after a tragic discovery that someone had left this world in a wooded area. It happened around 2 a.m. Police and EMS were at the scene. Although the darkness covered most of the scene, the camera still caught something deeply unsettling. The person reporting explains that a body was found in a tree, suspended by a rope. A grim and heartbreaking situation. Firefighters and police were already at the scene when the feed was live. But then, something strange appears.
Está suspendido por esa área, por el área donde usted visualiza algunas personas ahí en esa pequeña área boscosa. Pues lamentablemente pues es así como pues esta persona pierde la vida por suspensión. En otras palabras, pues él toma la fatal decisión de ahorcarse con un lazo y pues quedar suspendido en el aire, pues en horas de la madrugada.
Among the rescue crews, a pale figure can be seen, draped in what looks like a white cloth or veil, slowly moving through the trees toward the responders. It doesn't seem aware of the others, almost as if it's just passing through. At first, viewers in the chat suggested it might just be a glitch, a lens flare, or maybe another person at the scene. They went back and reviewed the footage several times and insist that the figure doesn't match any of the officials on site. That's not the only eerie detail. The broadcaster shared a photo taken moments later, showing that the body had been covered with a blanket that looked nearly identical to what the mysterious figure appeared to be wearing. Coincidence? Or could it be that the spirit of the deceased, still disoriented, was lingering at the site, clinging to the last thing they were wrapped in? Whatever the truth may be, this footage raises more questions than it answers. Did they capture a paranormal presence? Or is there a rational explanation we just haven't considered yet? Let me know in the comments. This was captured by another security officer who was told by an employee that they heard really loud and strange noises stemming from the dressing area of this old and, at the time, abandoned soccer stadium. So the guard went checking and saw something he could not really explain.
Me crea la gente porque esto nunca me pasó y nada, lo quería grabar, qué sé yo, y podrido, la concha de la lora. Tengo mi linterna para que viera la clase. Dios, puta que te parió. La puta que te parió. Concha de la lora. La concha de la lora. Pero como mierda puede ser que no haya nada hoy. Ya es la tercera vez. Tercera vez que entro y no hay nada. Dios, me quiero ir. Quiero ir.
The guards didn't even notice that this shadow being seemed to be with him at the time, which makes all of this just so much more creepy. Many say that this shadow being could have been responsible for all of this. Is this plausible? The next video we will be taking a look at comes to us from El Payaso de la Toledo. El Payaso is a channel that visits all sorts of the most haunted locations and often catches really interesting paranormal evidence. In the latest video, they are exploring an abandoned hotel building in Mexico. At this hotel, there was a fire a while ago that forced the business to shut down and left the building in ruins. Today, the team is going in hopes to connect with some of the spirits of past residents that they believe might still be lurking around the premises. Once the team reaches the hotel, they try and reach out to the spirits verbally.
Que se haya quedado atrapado aquí, le pedimos que se manifieste.
Oi. And this is where it seems the entities inhabiting the hotel decide to become more active.
¿Hay alguien aquí? Toda entidad, todo ser.
From outside, something terrifying can be seen walking through the doorframe. A small shadow, like that of a child, is spotted making its way quickly across the room. This is not the only paranormal activity that the investigators caught that night. Later on, the group spots another possible spirit in one of the buildings.
¡Háblanos!
The shadow moves past so quickly, it's hard to say, but I would say it looks to be the spirit of either a child or a woman dressed in white. Do you believe this is the same entity that the team caught earlier? Or someone else that remains to wander the old hotel? Truly paranormal, or perhaps just lights and shadows? This video shows a young man who was on his way back home from work the following night. He states that his helm camera always records for security purposes and that this route felt always super spooky to him, especially at night. Apparently, there are many local tales about ghostly hitchhikers that can be seen on some parts of these extremely old roads. And as fate would have it, he might have experienced such an occurrence himself. What's pretty strange is that whatever we are seeing here appeared twice on the road, as some might suggest it could have been just somebody walking on the road. It's not clear why anybody would do this in pitch darkness, but people can be weird. Why our driver would come across this thing twice though seems to maintain a mystery. What's your explanation? Speaking of old historic places, time to see what our night guard Bailey has been up to lately. He works in an old theater and makes sure that nobody is intruding on the premises after closing hours. If you remember, he has captured a few eerie shadow encounters in the past. Like many times before, he could hear some inexplicable noises coming from different rooms in the back area of the theater. And this is when he started recording.
This is the basement. This is the green room. Anyone in here? Guess I can turn on the light. Hello? Alright. Wig room. Anyone in here? Bathroom.
The shower turns on and sends chills up my spine.
Whoa. Someone's in here. Yo, it's midnight. You...
Phone starts to glitch.
Someone behind that. Okay. All right. Let's see. There's gotta be somebody down here.
To nobody's surprise, Bailey did not find anybody that could have done this. He sometimes works with a colleague that, in his mind, could have easily turned on the shower and the lights, but he wasn't working that night. However, maybe something else was with Bailey in the shower area. Something that went unnoticed.
Okay.
A viewer pointed this black object out, and Bailey said that no black object should have been placed there, so they were not sure if this could have been another shadow encounter. But he went live on his Instagram the night after, and might have captured another glimpse of the shadows that are dwelling in this theater. Hard to say what exactly this was, but if it wasn't his colleague, then it's very plausible that something paranormal had happened here. Night security at an old hotel noticed something unusual, an eerie figure that appeared just outside the front entrance of the property they were watching.
Okay, so this is the thing walking around. Now, you see bugs and lightning bugs lighting up, but that's not it. You can see that it's walking like, almost like it has legs. This right here is a spider web. That's debunked. But this thing, I cannot debunk.
They reviewed the footage multiple times, but still couldn't explain what they saw. To this day, no one knows exactly what it was, or why it showed up. At an old school building in Russia, security staff noticed something strange on the monitors during closing hours.
И что он на одном месте?
Мы все здороваемся с ним теперь.
А я ему говорю, привет.
Видишь ребенок?
Видишь, как ребенок.
Когда выходит на черное, его сильно вообще видно. Смотри, снимает. Иди сюда, мы же его...
Не.
Мы забыли вывести, это можно
вот,
уже на большой экран вывести.
Смотри на большом экране.
Смотри.
Вот ходит, сейчас спустится, вон он идет, видишь?
Видишь? Вот здесь вообще как ребенок, смотри, да?
Капец, ты видишь?
Ну, конечно, вот и в телефоне вот он тоже.
И во втором зале их там 3 штуки играют.
О, ничего себе.
Они
Здравствуйте.
как бы играют.
А вот сейчас уже на стенке.
A faint, shifting shape appeared near one of the staircases. Some dismissed it as a trick of the light, maybe just glare or even spiderwebs catching the camera, but others were convinced it could have been something else, maybe even a spirit passing through. What it really was, that's still up for debate. This was shared by a young woman who states that after playing with a Ouija board in her own home, started to have really scary night terrors and eventually started to sleepwalk, which is why she's now recording herself at night. And it seems that in this particular night she might have captured something really evil. people think that this could be the demon which had attached itself to the girl. How terrifying. Let's hope that she can deal with this attachment in some way to get rid of it. This was also captured by two friends who were driving on a lonely road in Russia. And they noticed a dark creature walking on the right side of the road. Their first instinct? Bigfoot, of course. It had to be. So they exited their car and followed this thing, only to see it disappear into the forest area. But perhaps this was something else entirely. The footage is not the best, so we can only speculate what had transpired here. The next video was captured by a family who came back from a little trip in Mexico. They were traveling along a road in the fields, which was relatively deserted. What made them pull out their phone was a scary-looking object that was seemingly floating in the sky, just a few meters above the road. They said that it was an extremely scary looking shadow figure, with barely any facial features as far as they could tell. They had no explanation for this terrifying incident, other than something inexplicable that must have unfolded here. How else could we explain this? What is that thing? Now we want to take a look at a light but definitely creepy recording that was captured by a young man who recently moved into a new home with his family. His kids told him that they saw strange shadows walking around in the house, and he and his wife also could see and hear stuff that didn't always make sense. One night he was trying to find the source of some odd scratching noises his children had heard, so he made his way down into the boiler room. What exactly was peeking out of the window here? Some people say that it could have been an intruder that is living in their house, unknowingly of course. Others suspect it to be a bad joke by either a family member or someone else. Well, I think it definitely looks like a mask. But the thought of a stranger living in the basement for free is pretty terrifying, nevertheless. The following was captured by a woman who was driving home in the midst of night, and she took her regular forest route. She states that out of nowhere, a female-looking creature ran out of the bushes and was coming to a stop right in front of her car, and she had no idea how to react at first. What this is exactly, your guess is as good as mine. Either somebody with a death wish was blocking the road in this creepy pose, or something I couldn't fully explain. Now we're taking a look at an update from JB, aka Dino Nuggets, who had moved a third time after some pretty intense poltergeist activity. And even shadow figures started terrorizing him and his whole family. Shortly after moving into their new house, things started to happen again.
As I told all of you, I would start recording just like I normally would. And stuff happens, so been hearing some noises. Maybe a quick walkthrough of the house so no one thinks there's someone behind me. Laundry room. Nowhere to hide in here. Well, look at the rest. I know you can hear that. Cat just took off. He's trying to get out. Studio.
He walked through the whole house and was looking everywhere for the origin of those noises, but couldn't find anything. Then on one of the following nights, the following unfolded. He opens every window to let some fresh air in, and still can't shake the feeling that something is really wrong in this house. He keeps walking through the rooms and documenting.
No, I ate hot pot. Like all of them are on. Call them and say what? Third time in 2 months? No, it's smoky. I'm recording this time.
And unbeknownst to JB, there seemed something standing in the dining area that a viewer of his noticed.